I was like, this is wrong with the child support system right here. And the judge, quote unquote, said, just because you don't know it's yours doesn't mean you don't owe.
So so you telling me he had back
pay.
Oh,
he had
man.
to pay $10,000 of back pay just because he didn't know that child was
families. They're having kids young, and they didn't have a dad, they didn't have a father, so they don't even know what it's like to have one in their life. So guess what? When they have theirs, they think just showing up and being there and talking
I give
to
money.
them. Yeah.
I give money. I'm a good father. It's deeper than just giving money.
And they think just playing in the park, that ain't gonna cut it, man.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unethical and Accountable with me, your host, Dwayne Walden.
Myself, Cameron Floyd.
And on today's episode, we getting into those mothers and fathers. Hold on, my fault. Baby mamas and baby daddies. So before we get into the show, I want to let you guys know that the show is being sponsored by Rhino Academy. If you are looking to repair your credit from the 400, the 500, the 600 club, into the 700 club, make sure you head over to rhinoacademy.com, where they will teach you how to repair, rebuild, and leverage your credit. Guys, it is very important to have very good credit. The reason you need good credit is because, one, you can leverage your good credit to make residual income in today's world. And if you want to learn how to make residual income, whether it's in real estate or any form of business, make sure you head over to rhinoacademy.com, where they will teach you how to make money, how to repair your credit, all for free. So with that being said, guys, let's get into today's show. So, guys, as I already said earlier, we talking about those baby mamas and baby daddies, right? So, Cam, when you think about baby mamas and baby daddies, let's just, not even general baby mama, baby daddies. When you think about mothers and fathers, like, what is their role in life that you actually think they should do, or what it is that life says a father and a mother should actually do?
All right, so traditionally, the mother and father, they each have their role. So the mother is the caregiver, the person that, makes sure the home is traditionally, and these aren't my views, but traditionally in the society we live in, the mothers are normally the caregivers, the person that takes care of the kids, and the father is the person that protects the family and provides for the family. So growing up, these are the things that I was taught, that I saw, and that were sort of, I won't say instilled in me, but were programmed in me just by society. Just seeing everything transpiring around me. So that was my thought of, the role of the mother and the father, not necessarily them being married or anything, but the father being a protector and the mother being a caregiver and the lover and those things.
Yeah, so I gotta actually, agree with you. As we already know, even statistics out here show that, a household operates 10 times better if you have both parents in the household, whether you have the mother and the dad. When you have two parents in the household, 9 times out of 10, that child, the outcome of that child is way better than a single family mother or a single family father raising a child. So just to get into this, I found some interesting statistics about child support, right? These baby mamas, these baby daddies being on child support. So what I found out is that 85% of dads represent child support, right? So it's like, dads, y'all lead the relationships 85% of the time, y'all getting put on child support. And then even in the rare instance where the mother is ordered to pay child support, right, the courts are not ordering women to pay as much as the male provider. Annual child support payments average about $5,450 from the male providers and $3,500 for the female providers. That's literally 56% less than what the male is actually paying. So, the typical child support amount owed, which means this is how much that's not even being paid. $33.7 billion in child support was owed during the year 2015. So I'm gonna pause right there, right? Now, I'm like in between with child support, right? So, I have different weights on believing do child support works or do it don't work. But I am gonna say this, right? To all the mothers and fathers out there that do not take care of their child, and if you're on child support and you don't pay child support, you should slap yourself. Like, you should, because
that's a problem.
It is a problem. Like,
that's a problem.
If you're gonna just straight up leave your child, right? Because you probably hate the mother, or the mother hate the father. At the end of the day, it's still your obligation to take care of your child. Like, I don't care what the scenario is. Whether it was a one night stand, whether it was, I hate him because he cheated on me. I hate her because she cheated on me. At the end of the day, it's the child that's involved in this. Like, pay your child support. Like, $33.7 billion worth of child support, that's not owed. That is owed. That is like crazy to me. So, to everybody who's out there on child support, pay your child support.
And I'll say this. I agree with that. Pay your child support if you can. Now, there's two scenarios that I can think of, regarding this. One, you mentioned about the, fathers 9 times out of 10 or 85% of the time, if they leave the household, they're going to be on child support. And I think that's, again, it goes back to those traditional, American societal household roles. The male is normally thought of as the provider and the protector. So that in courts and in all those decisions that are being made regarding child support, that's being taken into consideration. So that's still into play, and the mothers are still thought of being the caregivers. And it makes sense because when you think about it, a mother is I won't say less likely, but has less of a chance of leaving their child because they're birthing the child. The father has more of a chance and a better capability to do that because they're not physically connected to that child. The mother bears the child and the child is in the womb, and so it sort of makes sense to me. But then there are situations where it may not be just, where someone is actually wants to be a part of their child's life and is there and is doing all that they can, but simply because of the situation, they can't be in that child's life as much as they want to, or even spend as much as they want to, or even do as much things as they want to support that child. So that goes back again to what you were saying about those relationships, being disconnected, the mother not getting along with the father. That and at the end, that hurts the child.
Oh yeah. So while we getting on this topic, I got a couple of stories, right? And this is why I say I'm like, both sides when it comes to child support, right? Because you actually have a lot of good fathers. Before we even get deep into this, shout out to all the mothers and fathers who actually step in and take care of their child. It's very important that you be in your child life, especially at a young age, right? Because as we already know, mental health and fundamentals in the household, everything starts within the household. So it's very important to be there, part of your child life. So shout out to all the fathers and mothers out there in the world. Now, back to you unethical baby mamas and baby daddies. So my thing is, I have a lot of male friends, right? And I think just about all my male friends I hang around, they on child support. But it's not because they on child support because they the worst daddies in the world. It's because it is what it is. They have some unethical baby mamas,
Or let's just be honest, fellas. Or they made some unethical decisions when it came to that relationship.
True.
And it ended up, they ended up in that predicament. And it may not even be because of, how they are with their child. It may just be the relationship.
Yeah. So that's what I'm about to get into, right? So this is why I say this is where I come to a disagreement with child support, right? So I'm going to use a friend of mine, right, close to me or whatever. His baby mother, let me rephrase it, right? Before she became a baby mama, his mother, the mother of his child, they was together. They had this relationship going. And then when they decide to split ways, at the end of the day, he still decided that he wanted to be in his child's life. He's going to do everything for this child. But she was so evil, and she was like, you know what? I'm still going to put you on child support. And that's why I come at with like, yo, if the father agrees to one, still be in that child's life, still decides to take the financial responsibility of that child, still decides to split the bills with you, that father should not be on child support. But yet we got all these sorry dads out here who ain't even on child support. You know how many fathers out here that I know? My bad. These sorry baby daddies out here that I know that, one, they don't take care of their child. They still popping out babies left and right, and then they riding in the car with their girlfriend on the passenger seat with their seat all the way back and ain't making a damn dollar in their pockets. Those fathers who should be on child support, but they not. But yet you got the good dads out here, like some of my homies, who take care of their child, but they on child support. I have a real problem with that. Like what you feel about that, Ken?
I mean, in this situation, you got to take the good with the bad, because there's always going to be some casualties in a situation like this where the government is actually forcing you to do something. But that is contingent upon that mother saying that you're not being involved enough, or you're not providing enough for the child. So I mean, I definitely do agree on that. There's always going to be, again, some casualties when it comes to playing the good guy, the bad guy. Sometimes the good guy don't get what the good guy deserves. Sometimes the bad baby daddy don't get what he deserves.
They never do.
But at the end of the day, as men, as especially as black males, with the current state of our children, I think that there's been a campaign, a worldwide, a national campaign going for decades now for us to be more involved in our kids' life, for us to safeguard our children. But it's still progressing. So yeah. we ain't made it where we want to make it yet. We still got a long way to go.
No, let me tell you another story, right? So this is another friend of mine, right? By the way, all my homies take care of their child. I'm the first person to actually tell the person, I hate a sorry father. I hate a sorry father, right? And just to clarify something,
that's part of accountability. If that's your brother, if that's your your homie, that's your close friend.
That's true.
We got to be real enough with each other to say, bro, you
man up.
You got to man up. You got to do that.
Yeah.
You made that decision. Guess what? You got to be accountable. You got to hold yourself accountable. I'm gonna hold you accountable too. So.
Yeah. And also to put in, just because you're in your child life does not mean you're a great father. Yo, some of y'all fathers need to go ahead and take your child to the park. Let them go to the museum. Take them to see things that maybe you have not experienced in life, right? So do homework with your child. Play toys with your child. Walk in the park with your child, right? It's a lot of free things you can actually do with your kids out here.
And to add to that, man, I say, man, and sometimes, with the fathers missing out and doing all that, I don't even think it's something they're doing consciously at this point. It's more, that saying ignorance is bliss. It's ignorance at this point, because if you don't know, then you're ignorant to all the things that you could be doing to be a great dad or a great father. Right. So I think a lot of families, they're having kids young, and they didn't have a dad, they didn't have a father, so they don't even know what it's like to have one in their life. So guess what? When they have theirs, they think just showing up and being there and
I give money. Yeah. Oh, I give money. Oh, I'm a good father. It's deeper than just giving money.
And they think just playing in the park, that ain't gonna cut it, man. Because at the end of the day, we got to feed their minds and help them to be better than we were, or help them, or give them, like you said, give them the things that we didn't have.
Most definitely.
And give them those experiences, but also realize that they got to grow up and be an adult as well.
Most
so
definitely.
prepare them for those things as well. Not just being there. That's not that ain't gonna cut it.
So just to get into this, right? So because I offered to tell a story, right? And then before I even tell the story, it goes back to why I say I agree with child support, and then I disagree with child support. And the story that I'm about to get to that leads into this topic here, where there are females out there that literally just prey on men, like they just prey on men for income, right? So they know that when they get with these men, that they know at the end of the day, oh, if he leave me, I get child support out of him. And then you have some others that use that child support payments as they living fund. So to get into the story, right? So I have another brother of mine, and he did his thing one night with this chick. You know, it was a one night stand.
Oh, man.
And you know, the one night stand turned into him actually having a child with this mother of him. So for the first year, he did not even know this child was his, right?
Wow.
So he actually found out that this child was his a year after the mother found out that the previous father, who she thought was the child, wasn't the father. So she basically came to my brother and said, I want to let you know, or how it happened was she came to him and said, yo, I think you're the kid of my child.
The father.
The father of my child. And I just need you to take a test just to confirm that. So keep in mind, before that, the previous father, who she thought was the father of the child, right? He signed a birth certificate. He was there. They did a baby shower together. He was in a hospital holding hands with her and all that. So when she asked my brother to go ahead and take the paternity test, and she found out that the child was actually his, she decided to put him on child support. Like right away. And then you know what the judge said about that when he actually went to court to argue his point? The judge, quote unquote, said, and I wrote this down because I remember, because I thought it was so wrong. I was like, this is wrong with the child support system right here. And the judge, quote unquote, said, just because you don't know it's yours doesn't mean you don't owe.
So so you telling me he had back pay?
He had back pay.
Oh,
he had to pay $10,000 of back pay just because he didn't know that child was. And like I say, the mother had the previous father sign a birth certificate, everything. But at the end of the day, just because my brother found out the baby was his, and the paternity test confirmed it, she threw him on child support right away, and he owed it. I have a problem with the system when it comes to stuff like that.
I can 100%. I can 100% agree with you on that. Man.
It's wrong.
That's rough.
It's wrong. And for all those mothers out there, yes, I'm looking at you dead in the eye right now. For all those mothers out there who literally put these good fathers on child support just to feed your financial, just to feed just to live off it, is wrong. First of all, if you decide to put your father on child support, those funds are for the kids. It's not for you to go get your hair did. It's not for you to get your nails done. It's not for you to pay, go out to the club and drink up the money. No, it's there to support the child. It's not there for you to like spend the money wildly.
And the thing is though, and I'll say this. So I agree with that 100%. But the thing is, when for instance, like, you know, the whole pandemic going on, right? Everybody's getting that job, that unemployment check, right? And like right now, at this moment, it's not really being checked by the government like that. They're not checking. Are you searching for a job, or they're not really checking like that. You unemployed, guess what? You gonna get it for X amount of time. And then when you get in situations like that, you know, when you get assistance and it's going unchecked, meaning, you know, it's not no checks and balances that's involved with it. People gonna abuse it. So that's the same thing. That's the same thing with child support, and it could go both ways.
Oh yeah.
But you know, generally, you know, and then I may or may not be right, but generally, it's the fathers or the baby daddies that are you know, taking the hit for it. But it's because of the system we have in place, man. There's no check and balances to it.
The system is trash, right? Actually, it is what it is. I don't know what government men made that unhappy woman happy back in the days when they came out with this child support system, but it is what it is. It's like it's no check and balance in place. And what I think they should put in place, and this is just my personal opinion, it's just like with the food stamp card, right? When you're on a SNAP benefit, they put this money on a special card. You can't go spend this money at the ATM. You can't go to the ATM and pull out some money. You can only spend this card literally inside of a grocery store that accepts food stamps. So I think they need to come out with a child support card. And if you just, because on average, these men pay like $500 a month for child support. So if you telling me this man has to pay $500 on child support, or this woman has to pay $500 on child support, drop that money on the card, and then it should be break down into categories. $200 for household expenses, whether it's light bills or whatever living costs need to be paid. That's what this is for. Another $100 or $150 going on food. and the rest of the money going on clothing. They should be able to control wherever this money is actually being spent.
But guess what? You're gonna do that, right?
Uh-huh.
And guess what? The same thing that's happening with EBT, right?
What's that?
The same thing. When you go somewhere, you swipe it, they give you the money.
Oh, well, true.
The same thing. Guess what?
True.
Guess what? The same thing is gonna
But you know what? And this is what I would say. Just as quick as these mothers, the 85% of these mothers out here who rush to the courthouse to go put their father, the father of that child on child support, that father should be able to run quick to the courthouse and say, hey man, she's not using the money right. I need y'all to do an investigation in this.
Again, that honestly, man, that's not the society we live in, man. Again, it goes back to those traditional views of the mother-father relationship. And now we're in a time where, you know, it's so progressive that, you know, we can't even talk about only, you know, mothers and fathers, or, you know, we got to consider everything else outside of that. But for the sake of this conversation, man, it's those traditional views that have us locked into this way of thinking, and our court specifically. A lot of the old, you know, mandates and laws, they still reflect, you know, they still reflect the thoughts and ideals when the nation was founded. So, you know, we gotta address those, and then we gotta address those first, and then climb all the way up here. So we got a long, like I said before, we got a long way to go with that too.
Yeah.
Because we've been fighting for like civil rights for, you know, forever, and we look how far we are. Yeah. So, you know.
But so that's why I say. I just feel like if they do that, right? If they put this system in place where they just drop it on this child support card, I think that'll stop a lot of gold diggers out here who actually feed off of who goal is to meet a millionaire and get them pregnant, so they can live off the child support.
All right, so this is my rebuttal to that.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's not even get there in the first place, then.
Oh, you're right. So, and that's where I'm about to go, because at the end of the day, so I was watching this interview with, as everybody know, the famous Brittany Renner right now on the internet, and you know, I can't take PJ Washington's side right now because I haven't heard his story. I only heard her story, and according to her story, right. Because you know, right now the world view her as a straight gold digger, like, oh, you went into the intentions of actually getting a child with this man because you know he's making millions. So I listened to one of her interviews, right? It was with DJ Academics, I believe.
Yeah.
And she quote unquote said that when I came into this relationship, I was on birth controls. We had this discussion. She had this discussion where she said that she didn't want to have a baby with him. But PJ Washington pushed it on her. He decided that he wanted to have unprotected sex, and he wanted to go ahead and pursue the baby and so forth and so on. So it's like, can I blame her if she wrong? If she actually was already on birth controls and he decided to take her off? Nah, that could be part of the game, but as men, we have to be accountable. One thing I know about men, right, and I think this is the truth. When we see somebody that looks gorgeous like Brittany Renner, we ready to just have unprotected sex with her. Like, yo.
I'm not going to say, wait a minute, I'm not going to say unprotected.
You mans are nasty.
I'm not going to say unprotected, but, you know, I get where you, I get exactly what you're saying. But you know, we gotta start doing more thinking than that. Honestly, definitely. That's just one thing. That's what's gonna reel you in, right?
Right.
But you know, what's the substance that's gonna keep you there? We gotta start thinking about that, because of course, you know, and this is really with anybody. If you see somebody, the first thing that you're exposed to is how they look.
Most
so
definitely.
if you attracted to that, then that's gonna reel you in. That's the first step to reeling you in.
Right.
But after that, there's more to be discovered. There's more for you to, you know, be intrigued about. We gotta start doing more.
Well, like you said, it plays both sides, whether it's the man or whether it's the woman. Men and women, the only attribute we look at when we get in a relationship is just the looks. The rest of the attributes is like.
And I ain't gonna even say relationship, and that's a bad thing too, because we look at somebody, and like you said, we ready to have, you know, whether it's a protected or unprotected,
right.
But we ready to do something with that person, and that's something that could, you know, a relationship, you know, that don't impact you for your life. That ain't 18 years of your life. Sure. But you know, doing that.
Well, you know that impact your life once you say I do.
No, but I'm saying as far as having a child,
right?
That's gonna change your whole life.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Especially if it's with someone who you don't, you know, share aspirations with, or they don't have the same mindset that you have, then they might want the child to grow up in a different type of household than you want.
And then just to add on, right? So a lot of things I actually hear when I hear mothers and fathers talk about, oh, I have a sorry baby mama, I have a sorry baby daddy. Yo, majority of the time, you knew they were sorry when you first started messing with them, right? It don't take long for somebody to know if this guy or this woman is trash. Like, I could literally talk to a woman, and then I could just tell by certain conversations I have with her whether she's intelligent or where her mind at is fundamentally. And that right there should let me know should I mess with her or not. Like, I get turned off if a woman cannot have an intelligent conversation with me. Like, we could be in a bar, I could be as drunk as I could be, you could be as sexy as you could be, but as soon as you talk to me and I don't feel connected with what you talking about, I get turned off. It's like I don't even want to deal with you. But like I say, a lot of men out here don't know how to do that. A lot of men just look at the beautiness of a woman, and that's all they see. She could be an air balloon. Vice versa with these women out here. They'll look at a man, he just look good physically, but he an airhead too. And that's all they see. Oh, I just fall in love with him. Like, I hear a lot of girls that say, oh, I love a hood guy, right? But the hood guy ain't got nothing going on. He has no job, no income. He's just a corner boy. And they fall in love with that. So, you knew he was trash.
And I'm glad you're saying that too, because I definitely had a point I wanted to get to in this conversation, man. A lot of people don't even know themselves where they want to go, who they want to be, what they trying to do.
Most definitely.
A lot of people haven't even written out or have an idea of the type of person that they are.
And the ones who do, when they actually get it, they don't even know how to handle it.
Yeah.
It's always an extra problem. I don't like this. But he can have 9 out of 10, and then they still, they still unhappy.
So what I think the next step in this is, man, as far as, relationships, whether, then having children and things like that, we got to start looking at ourselves first. Men, women, everyone. We got to look at ourselves first, evaluate ourselves, see what we like, talk about, to ourselves, what we like, what we don't like, where we trying to go, where we been, look at our progress, evaluate all that, right?
Right.
Evaluate those things. Then when you see somebody or find somebody you're attracted to, you got to have those conversations and you got to fill them out. I'm not saying that you got to, get an application form and then have them write it on the page. Let it be natural, of course. Let it be natural, but you got to start thinking about those things, as you get older. Now, when you're younger, of course, when you're younger people...
Yeah, we all make mistakes when we're young.
Yeah, nobody's perfect again. But we got to start, thinking about those things. If we don't want to be on child support, we don't want to be just a baby daddy or a baby mom, our community got to start thinking about that type of stuff.
So I got another a topic that I want to actually touch on, right? Because I have this conversation a lot with females, and I actually see this with my friends that I have in my life right now. And this question that I actually want to ask you is, do you believe the male or the female should step up and play that financial role in that person's life who has that child? Should they step up and play that financial role if that father or if that mother is not involved in that kid's life?
I think absolutely. If you're taking that person serious, then you're gonna at some point you're gonna absolutely have to do that, and because that's an extension of them. So you have to treat them as if that were them in any circumstance. Meaning, like, you have to protect them, guard their life, because that at the end of the day, that's a child, and then that's the child of the person that you're supposed to be building with.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you have to take on that role. I'm not saying that you gotta ball out or that you gotta dedicate your whole. No, but you have to be there and play that role, man. And the extent that you play it to is up to you, and then it's up to the person that you're dealing with, how involved they want you to be, and also you gotta have that conversation with the other person. If the other person is not involved, then there's no need to have that conversation. But if the other person is somewhat involved, we as men especially, we gotta man up, have those conversations, man. It's this pride. When you're dealing with a child, man, relationships, man, sometimes that pride, you gotta put that to the side and step up and have them conversations.
Now, I agree. So I'm in between with this one, right? So, yes, I do believe if you decide to be in a serious relationship, keyword serious, if you decide to be in a serious relationship with that man or with that woman, yes, you should play that financial role if the other half is not there. Now, I do not believe anybody, whether you're the mother or whether you're the father, you should play that financial role if you're just learning who this person is, right?
Yeah,
so I've been in situations where these mothers had kids, and as soon as I get in this relationship, this mother telling me, "Oh, I need this and that," and I'm like, "What you telling me for? Like, where the father at? Like, why do I have to provide everything right away? I don't need to provide this. This is not my job. This is your father's job. Is he on child support? Now, if he ain't on child support, we got a bigger problem. Like, I dealt with chicks where they want me to provide everything up front, but then your father ain't even on child support. You ain't even stretch your legs out to walk down to the courthouse to put them on child support, but yet you want me to be the financial guru in your life. Yo, it don't work like that. It's unethical if you'd even think like that. Now, if I decide to actually stay in that person's life, meaning I decide to continue to build, yes, I should step up and play that role. But I'm not here being your sugar daddy or your bank for your child when you don't even have your father kids on child support. You're not even chasing him for money. So that's why I'm in between that.
You gotta build up to that, man. And even with the kid, you gotta get, if you building up to a serious relationship, you gotta get, comfortable around the kid as well. And they gotta get comfortable around you.
And that's another thing, right? So, because like I say, a lot of things is not financially, right? So and once again, this is my personal opinion, right? So, if I decide, well, first of all, let me just clear the air. It's rare that I even talk to people with kids, right? Because I hate playing that role of a stepdaddy, right? Because one, it's hard to discipline a child. If I decide to be in a serious relationship with a child, it's like the discipline comes with it. How much can I actually discipline this child, right? Can I raise him? Can I give him a tap if he did something wrong? It's like it's a lot of
talk to him in a firm,
It's a lot of things that come with that. That's just not even financial, and it's like I'm gonna be honest. For me, it's hard. I don't know how to do it because it's not my own. So I get it. I could get the best advice I could be, but it's hard playing that stepdaddy role. And I salute all those stepdads and stepmothers out there who actually step in and play that role, because I understand the decisions that you actually took once you decide to get into that scenario. But for me, it's like if I cannot discipline a child, meaning that I cannot take this child and raise him as if it was mine, I don't want to be in that relationship, because once again, if I decide to step in that relationship and the father is not there, I want to play that disciplinary role in that child life. And if you don't allow me to, because there's a lot of mothers that don't allow the father to play that.
The kids might not be with it.
Yeah. So it makes the situation more difficult. So that's why I don't mess with a lot of women out there that have kids, because one, I just had bad experience where it's always, oh, I need you to fund this, I need you to do this, and then two, it's like the disciplinary role in that child life. Like, they won't allow me to actually do it because technically I'm not the child's father. So to all those mothers and fathers out there, if you decide to let someone step into that child life, you have to understand that it's just not the financial needs, it's the disciplinary needs, it's everything that a father should attribute into that child life. You should allow that stepdad or that stepmother to actually play that role. So
I agree, man.
So that's just something I just wanted to put out. So, just to wrap this up, the solution to all this, because at the end of the day, we have to start holding these people accountable. And just how we could clear this, the way you can control this scenario, whether you have this trash baby mama or baby daddy, know who you getting involved with from the beginning.
From the beginning, man.
So a lot of you females and a lot of you males already know what type of chick these or what type of man this person is already. If she just out here and she just want that bag. Oh, I just need this purse. I need this Chanel purse. Oh, I need my bills paid. You shouldn't want to mess with a chick like that if that's all she wants. Like, the scenario. And vice versa for you women out there. These trash men that walk around, no offense to the men who walk around with their pants down, but you grown, grow up, put your pants up. The guys who don't have no jobs. The guys who just basically using you for money. This already. And for you to decide to still stay in that situation, that's your fault. Like, if you decide to continue to mess with that trash man or that trash woman and things don't work out, you should only point fingers at you. You have to hold yourself accountable for the situation that you put your own self in. It's not that man's fault if he decides to walk out on that child. You knew he was trash from the beginning. It's not that woman's fault if they decide to be the worst mother in the world. It's not. If you want the best mother in the world, you should basically put yourself in the predicament that you want to be in, and that's control the scenario from day one. I don't care. I don't know if you want to add on to that.
Yeah, just like you were saying, man. I think it's real important to know who you getting involved with, man.
Yeah.
And know yourself first, though. You got to know yourself first.
Most definitely.
And then that's how you can truly, really figure out who you want to be with,
right.
Who you are, and where you want to go with that person, man. And we can possibly avoid this. No relationship is going to be perfect. You know, when a child's involved, it gets a little bit more complicated. But in order to move forward, in order to, you know, make our situations better, you know, as the black community, we got to start asking ourselves these questions. Because, you know, we can deceive ourselves sometimes. You know, sometimes you think that you're this way and you find out, well, I'm really this way. I really like this. Or sometimes you might think you like this type of person and then find out that I don't like this type of person. I need to, but you know, that's trial and error. So we got to be cautious, more cautious, and then start to really evaluate, you know, where we want to go, and that's really it. That's really it on that.
So, you know, just to wrap it up, I'm not saying you're a lot today. For all you mothers and all you fathers that have your significant other, child, the father or the mother on child support, and they actually take care of their kids, take them off child support. If they actually fund the household, if they still is inside, if they still a part of that child life, please take them off and go ahead and put the sorry ones on child support. So with that being said, make sure you go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and share button, guys, if you enjoyed this show. See us on the next show. Once again, my name is Dwayne Walden.
I'm Cameron Floyd. Thank y'all for joining.
Peace.